Hello, my name is Asan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast, Shorts. There's no co-host on Shorts episodes. These are now 6 to 8 minute, or maybe even sometimes 2 to 4 minute, observations, thoughts, ideas, or rants about the psychology, theology, and the underpinnings, see I switched it around a little bit there, of leadership. Because listening to me ramble incoherently about leadership for anywhere between 2 to 6 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book. Even when I'm outside after raking the leaves and the wind is blowing. Welcome to fall. I've been convicted recently of an idea. In America, we're caught on the horns of a trap. We have the very libertarian and freedom-based notion that what I do really doesn't matter or shouldn't matter to anybody else, particularly if A, I'm consenting in doing something with someone else and I've gotten their consent, and B, well, both of the individuals who are doing whatever it is they're doing are adults. This is a very libertarian and libertine idea that allows people to engage in all kinds of different proclivities: sexual, economic, psychological, emotional, material, and otherwise. But it is also a dynamic that creates a second horn on the bull of society. The second horn is this: we actually do care very much about what goes on in other people's households. Otherwise, we wouldn't care so much and prosecute child abuse, child neglect. We wouldn't prioritize tax breaks for married couples versus single individuals. We wouldn't care and expend so much energy on topics around abortion and pregnancy. Whether or not a married couple can get married, whether or not two people can even have a baby once they are married, wouldn't be a matter or an issue at all if we didn't care very much about what goes on in other people's lives. This is a tension that leaders have to face as well. You have to care as a leader about what goes on in your followers, your team members, your colleagues, your co-workers' lives. You have to care very much about what goes on in their households, what is going on in their heads, and what's going on with their families. You have to care about them as people while also walking the line of not caring too much. We used to have an entity in society and culture that used to counterbalance out this caring. There are 3 main entities that are described in that most ancient of leadership books, the Bible, and that were given to or granted to man by God: the family, the church, and the government. Now, government just means the culture, as well as society, as well as the actual function of individuals who are elected or appointed to rule over us. Family can mean everything from the people who exist inside of your 2,500 square foot house somewhere in the Midwest, all the way to all of the people who are in your neighborhood in their own 2,500 square foot tents in a community in the Midwest, all the way to a particular tribe. And church? Well, church is just that collection of believers that comes together to worship God in an appropriate manner while honoring an existentially higher and metaphysically higher morality. That's just a very clever way of talking about God, by the way. Anyhow, these are the 3 spheres. And leaders, we used to live in a world before the fragmentation of the internet and before the fragmentation that the internet brought. We used to live in a world where those 3 spheres were the only 3 spheres. And if one sphere got out of control, like the church did in the Middle Ages, or like families sometimes do when they morph into ruling tribes or gangs, like is going on in Chicago right now, or when the government got out of control, as it is in our current age, the other two spheres would come along and counterbalance that third out of control sphere. Well, the only way to counterbalance that out of control sphere, leaders, is to care about what is going on in people's lives. Care about what is going on in the family. Care about what is going on in the government. And even if you believe in a metaphysical entity, even if you have no truck with existential belief, care very much about what is going on with a metaphysical, hierarchical, transcendental entity. Leaders, if you do this, if you lead in these ways of caring, listening, paying attention, and absorbing, yeah, you'll ask people uncomfortable questions. And yeah, you may be seen as nosing around into things that are none of your business. And yeah, you may be a little bit uncomfortable, but fundamentally at the end of the day, you'll be a better leader. And thus, the nation state and the globe will move forward one small step in one massive sphere at a time. And well, that's it for me. Listen and subscribe to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast on all the major podcast players that you listen to podcasts on, including iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and even Spotify. And please leave a 5-star review if you like the show. We need those reviews to grow, and it's the easiest way to make sure that this show gets into the ears of the leaders who need to hear it. And of course, tell all your friends. If you want to get started on the leadership path, HSCT Publishing's products and services can help your team do that. Check out our training webinars, coaching services, and more at leadershiptoolbox.us. We also have a video-based subscription service, that's software as a service, that can help your team become better at the individual level. 60 modules and over 100 hours of video and written content for you at leadingkeys.com. That's leadingkeys.com. We've also got books that will help you and your team grow. Pick up a copy today of My Boss Doesn't Care, 100 Essays on Disrupting Your Workplace by Disrupting Your Boss, and subscribe to the Little Red podcast I launched earlier this year with the same name as that Little Red book. My most recent book is 12 Rules for Leaders, The Foundation of Intentional Leadership. Co-written with contributions from Bradley Madigan, this is the book for right now that was written for leaders right now. Pick up a copy by heading over to 12rulesleadersbook.com/now. That's 12rulesleadersbook.com/now. You pay for shipping, and you'll get a copy of my second book as well. Finally, you can get all these books in paperback, hardcover, or as ebooks on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and any other place online you order books. Finally, HSCT Publishing is on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the video version of the Leadership Lessons for the Great Books podcast on the HSCT Publishing channel on YouTube. Just search for HSCT Publishing and hit the subscribe button. You'll get our weekly video updates, which is the video version of this podcast. And, of course, you're going to want to subscribe to my other podcast. That's right, I do more than one. The Hasan Sorrells Presents audio experience, where I talk more casually with a broader range of people about all matters that matter in the world today, from arts all the way to analytics. All right, that's it for me.